from your answers, I can sense that self-empowerment is just like helping to work on the mind of the patient, to see the situation in a positive way, and then to help develop their mind on a kind of self-healing something. I don't know the right word to use, but I don't know if I'm right. But if I, God forbid, well, I don't know, if I was your patient, if I was your patient, how would you empower me? How would you empower me? How would you help to work on my mind to see the situation in a different way so that I can come out of that situation? How would you do that? After you answer this question, then I'll throw the floor open to Emmanuel and other people that want to ask questions. So the question is for you, Alex and Faith.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, you said if you were my patient. And first of all, one thing we have to understand that a patient will come to you. If you are my patient now, and I've been told that, oh, Mr. Tunde is my patient, he has a mental health issues, and we need to do assessment. First of all, what we do is to assess the patient first. We don't just decide. The doctors have their assessment, they have their own assessment they need to do, while the nurses have their own assessment what they need to do as well. We do a kind of different kind of assessment. We do assessments whereby to know the kind of way, whether you know where you are, the time, the dates, whether you know what you're doing, whether you are fully in your mentally health completed. When I say mentally health, meaning your mind. How did you think? What is your thought? How are you thinking? How did you feel? Why? What is kind of situation you are? What if my doctor come and said, Faith, this is your patient, you need to go on it and treat this patient. Like you, I use the care plan. We need to look what triggered that mental health issues. The first we have to know, that's why we do assessment. When we do assessment, we have to know what triggered the mental health. What was that triggered it? Why is it that in that situation? Why are you in that situation? From there, we'll be able to take it from there. If we know where the trigger is coming from, we'll be able to support, we'll be able to get a care plan, a treatment, or the kind of treatment that you need. It's very hard for me to be using it. It's very hard, you know, it's very hard for me to use it. So I'm always going back to my, you know what I mean by using a patient, using you know, so I'm not used to using a person just like, you know, who's not mentally. It's very difficult. I'm sorry. That's why I'm only referring to my, you know what I mean? So yeah. So when we're talking about that, so if you come to me and I have those kind of assessments in my hands, and I know that this is the assessment I've gone through, and this is what is the issue, then we'll be able to treat. We'll be able to sit with you and discuss the plan. The plan would be, how is your medication? What kind of medication you need? Did you really need medication? There are kind of mental health, some mental health issue, we don't even need medication. Some people don't need medication. They just need to be comforted. They just need to be, you know, to give them that socializing, to make them aware, to be with them. Some people need talking therapy. They are fine. If they have like two times in a week, somebody come to them, discuss with them, give them assurance, make them understand that they can manage themselves. There are different kind of therapies. There are different kind of ways you can treat it. So when people they have severe one that they need medication, they are the one that they don't need. Some of them, they don't need medication. Some people will come that, oh, I can't sleep well. I've been thinking so much. My head, I'm having a different kind of thoughts, this and this. They have the treatment for everything. So when people when we have a patient or we have people with mental health issues and people come to us and say, oh, these are the kind of, they have issues. We diagnose them first. We can't just say someone because he forgot something today, that means the person is having mental health issues. We have to diagnose it, come first. Assessing the patient first. After assessment, we start thinking of the plan. They have care plans. We have to put care plans in order. Then, what kind of medication did the person need? What kind of things that he needs? It might be that he needs more therapies. It might be that he needs more communication. It might be that someone that just lost his mom or lost somebody, he needs to be nursing, he needs to be communicating with. So those are the things we do first. Then from there, we take it, we start treating the patient, or we start giving medication, we start empowering them in a different way, talking to them, making them understand that they are not alone. People are there to support them.
Wow. Thank you very much for
if I can add to the mental health intervention, if I can add to it, I think in the UK right now, I will say, if many of us can take notice of this, we have voluntary organizations. Voluntary organizations really play a big role when it comes to mental health intervention or health promotion. Was it 2 days ago, I was in a public health conference, and there was this reference of United Kingdom voluntary organization is contributing £4 billion into the government pocket in regard to voluntary activity that they do. Just imagine. And 20 billion from that goes into carers. So now, when we are talking about carers, it's about some family who contributed, yeah, who are supporting their family member. They are not financially able. So all this money comes in the other way around, where we also support people in community when it comes to physical health activity. I think in some mental health hospital, we have the gym, yes, where they engage in activity as well. And they also socialize when it comes to, even those who are on section, they socialize to go in
Section 17.
Yeah, they have like Section 17, where they can be empowered in daily activity outside the mental health hospital. Yeah. At the same time, it doesn't matter your religion. We have, I don't know, is it chaplaincy? Chaplaincy. We have chaplaincy service, which kind of have a map of different religion, whichever religion you belong to. They will also empower you with what you believe. So it's really, really about you.
Yes.
It's about you, what you want. Because you might think someone who is mentally or who's having cognitive mental health issue doesn't have insight. No, we don't think that. No. We look at your history. What were you doing before this thing comes about? What was activity you liked? Which area were you taking part with? So all these things kind of bring people back to being mentally okay. I don't know if we are really on your point.
Yes, yes, Alex and Faith, thank you very much for clearing that. I'm going to allow other people to ask questions. I'll first of all, because Emmanuel has been raising up his hand for quite some time, so I'm just going to call on Emmanuel to ask his question. Emmanuel, please just introduce yourself. Let's know where you are speaking from, and then you can ask your question.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator Tunde. And thank you, Linda, for inviting me to this important issue. And thank you, Alex and Faith. I don't know if you are husband and wife or you are business partners. Whatever it is, I say.
Please don't put me into trouble.
Whatever the situation is, I say thank you very much. My issue is going to be a combination of question and comments as well, based on my own experience from Canada, especially in the group home, where mental issues have been attended to, and then based on my experience in Nigeria, it seems as if the very sound lectures we've been listening to all along, they are basically foreign in nature, not Nigerian. The reason why I say that is that in Nigeria, the only people we believe have mental issues are the lunatics on the streets. We do not believe that hundreds and millions of Nigerians who are undergoing serious mental problems, they are not being attended to. I'm talking about people that have lost their jobs and are barely surviving and under severe pain of thinking and depression. Talking about people that have lost their spouses and the many children they have now become the workload of one person, that they can barely sleep well in the night. You are talking about people that have been deprived of love, have been deprived of attention. They are thinking about people that have been frustrated about the political situation in the country, the criminality going on around here, which is a sort of headache. We are talking of people that are terminally ill and they don't have support system, unlike what we have in UK and Canada and US and so on. We are talking about people that consider themselves as failures. Maybe people that spend so much money to undertake an educational project and they failed and they couldn't repeat, they couldn't continue because of financial issues. We are thinking about people that went into marriage and they couldn't have children in time and they become depressed, they are mentally ill, and they are doing all manners of desperate situations to get back to track. So when we talk about UK, Canada, US, Japan, and all of that developed climes, the support system is there. When we're talking about the subject of today, self-empowerment, how can people with mental issues in Nigeria be self-empowered without support system? Because I could see my sister and my brother over there talking about where you can take your medication, we'll tell you what to do, how to do this and that. We don't have all of that in Nigeria. In Canada, the role of government is very important. Most of the agencies taking care of mentally deranged people, they are heavily supported by government funds. Even the private sector agencies, their budget is more than 50% supported by government. The NGOs derive their sources of funding from philanthropic organizations and government. In Nigeria, what we have the churches they are playing their own role on the spiritual side and giving some financial support. The herbal medicine people, they are trying their own, but I think we have a lot of problem in Nigeria, and we should be talking about how can we mobilize resources to take care of mentally deranged people in this country, and there are very many. Some of them they are in our streets. Some of them will live in the same compound. We don't even have their problem. Some people will be looking, you greet them, they don't even know that you are greeting them. And they oh, good morning, sir. These are people that are not eating for good food for 3 days, and they are mentally disturbed. So my question is, how can we raise awareness about people that are not yet lunatics in the streets, so that even among our own extended family members, we can discover those that are mentally ill and can be able to support them. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I really appreciate you talk at length, and what all you said, 100% you are right. I won't remove one, but if I can throw everyone back to Matthew. Matthew analyzed different view of mental health diagnosis and mental health understanding and mental health identity. When we talk about different celebrity, when we talk about our leaders who are mentally unwell, and when we look at mental health issue, Matthew kind of let us know that yes, it's true. What you are saying, you are talking from the grassroots now. You are pointing on your neighbor, the common people. So now, what Matthew was, if I can use my own language to describe what Matthew was saying, is that the issue is from the top. So now, if someone like Obasanjo, let me talk the recent one. Is it Tinubu? Tinubu, who confessed himself that he has mental health issue for, what is it called? Media, social media. He said he can't watch it anymore. He confessed. So it takes a man who is very powerful like Tinubu to tell us that he's feeling depressed, he's feeling anxiety of watching people abusing him online. You know, so now I will also let you know, in regard to what you are saying, the same thing is happening in the UK, in the global community. When we talk about people being depressed, we talk about people lose family, people being abused. It's just that we will not want to pinpoint on names or community, because of when we're talking about being professional, it's very difficult. We tend to hide country privacy. Just because you guys are confident to talk about the Nigeria, say you are from Nigeria community. So yes, let's talk about how to promote mental health awareness. I don't know what time you joined us, or if you were with us last week. In the past 5-6 years, the mission we have is more or less linked with when we talk about WHO for 2030, is about having the understanding to make people aware of their human rights when it comes to health information, access to information. Who is going to do that? We all are responsible. First, education. So I know Linda is putting something in place for us to increase our educational community. If we can have more mental health facilitator, we can provide that training. It's not difficult. We provide more and more mental health facilitators. Because in Nigeria, you're talking about, if I tell you, Nigeria had their first mental health act before the UK. Because UK one was kind of asylum before. It was really difficult for them to accept people who are mentally unwell. They were treating them really bad. So Nigeria actually accept that these people have the right to be assessed, treat. Just look at it. I can't do maybe someone in Nigeria might do this. Do you understand mental health regulation in Nigeria? So now, if we have all these, if we can call all the, what's it called? Is it these people that empower? Social media empowerment team. We bring them. Everyone will have this training, mental health facilitator training. Then we look at the policy, look at the local government, then we create different champions who can teach mental health awareness. We've been here talking about it. All we need is about the definition of mental health. What is mental health? What is mental health problem? And how to engage people who are facing these challenges in community. And we working together. I'm happy that you are in developed community. Yes, you can contact Linda. Your contribution, my contribution will come together. We can say, okay, this is the funding. You know, I just talk about only UK funding now in voluntary organization. I know in our developing world community, we have more NGOs than the developed world. But because there is no standardized way of filtering these guys, they will make billions. They will take from the rich in abroad. They will come home tell you that they work hard to come and meet you there. But if there's a standardized structure, this money will go into the right pocket. We have mental health hospitals in 36 states in Nigeria, but we are responsible to create awareness, to let the president know. All we are saying, this is what is said in the mental health regulation. This is what we want. And this is the community that is suffering. I don't know if it makes sense. So then we will be able to say, okay, we have enough facilitators now. We have more people like Linda coming up to give chance for our leaders. Next time we will come in, we bring a different celebrity to say, yes, this thing is real. And this is the way I've dealt with mine. It's not just about bringing professional into it. If you go into mental health hospital, professionals don't really practically do anything. What they do, they use individual, what they want, other people talking about their mental health, other people getting well, they kind of, what's it, because it's family conversation, people talking about how they've been managing it. So now this is what they put together to increase the support they have in mental health hospitals, in community, voluntary service. They are more champion than you think government can do. Hello, voluntary organization, because when we are talking about voluntary organizations, I don't know, I'm a Christian. If you look at what, is it 1 Corinthians 13 said, it said the greatest of all is love. When we talk about charity, we're talking about love. So people who set up voluntary organizations, we're talking about those who set up love organization to support people financially, to support people when they are in need, to support people who are mentally unwell. That's the way I see it. But the fact that I'm not the president of Nigeria, I'm not a governor in any state in Nigeria. I tell you, to cover 36 states in Nigeria, 10 of us coming together here, we can do it. In Nigeria community, let me say in the global community, we've been doing digital awareness training. We've covered over 20,000 facilitators that are teaching digital awareness. I think that's where Linda actually got the link from. She did the mental health awareness. We've been doing it, but we don't have enough funding to do it. Otherwise, we can cover 36 states in 6 months in Nigeria. I tell you, we can do it, but we need to come together without education. Without education, you cannot tell any African that they are mentally unwell.
Can I come in there?
Yeah, thank you. I think you want to add to this.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, everybody. I hope everybody is listening. And I just want to contribute with what Brother Alex has been saying. Like our brother said, Brother Iman, it says that we have to know how can we support people in Nigeria, or let me say in Africa. Because if we're just talking about Nigeria, let's say Africa. Now, I don't want to say Nigeria anymore because we all are the same. We came from the same place. So how can we support these people? How can we let them know that this is what is on ground? The truth is this: there is no Nigerian or no African man or woman you will tell that you are mentally ill that will understand it. It will think you are causing him or her. That's the truth. It's only the one that is educated that can understand when you say you are mentally ill. When I came to this country, my father was in Benin. My father was one of the manager in psychiatric hospital in Benin. I remember when I used to go with my dad when I was in school, my dad would pick me up and he would drop me on the office and said, stay here. I see these people, the way they put them down, chain them because they don't want to run away. They don't want them to be run away. They don't want the way they treat them. I begin to ask myself when I was young, why are they treating these people like this? Is it, I thought maybe I didn't understand it. At that time, I was very young. I didn't understand what is mental health issues. These are the people that say they have mental health. So what I understand is that they are mad. So I said, okay, they are mad. That's why they tied them down there so that they don't run away. They don't, you know what I mean? But when I started growing up, going deeper with this situation and this, when I say mental health, because my right from time, I was saying, I want to be nurse. I want to do this. I love to be with people. I want to see treating people. That was my inspirement every time. So before I became a nurse and before I was working as a nursing assistant in Germany, before I came to UK, from UK, I developed myself more to be a nurse and everything. I tried then to understand, that is where I become like, you have that knowledge. Because when we are in Nigeria, we don't have too much. If you don't educate yourself, you will not know what is mental health issues. If those people are not educated, they will not know what is mental health issues. They need to be educated first. They need to be not only educated, they need to make them understand that this is mental health illness. This is a thing that can go from one man to another. Different people can have it. It all depends on different ways. Like our brother said, a lot of people that lose their job, a lot of people that lose their loved ones, a lot of people that they went to uni and they cannot go, they don't have a job. People that have issues, who really depressed because they are not having jobs, because they don't know how they can manage their family tomorrow. There's no money. There's no way they can feed their family. There's people out there, a lot we have in Africa, in our countries. But all this we know, but there's nobody you would tell now and say, oh, you are mentally ill, that will tell you, yes, I am. You have to educate them what is mentally, why illness, why are you, then they will ask you, oh, is that why maybe I was depressed? Oh, is that why this is happening to me? They will now get that understanding. And that is where they will start asking you, how can I manage myself then? How can I go about it? What can I do? That is where we can come in. Because there's nobody that you can explain to that will understand it in Africa. No. So that is why Brother Alex was saying that we need to educate people. We need to make them understand what is mental illness. How can we manage it? What can we do? Kind of support we can do. Truly, there is a lot of people that can do we do charities here. A lot of charities. A lot of them does not come from the government. No, it's charities. We use them so much and they provide. We can do the same thing in Africa. I know a lot of people are doing it already, but we can do the same in Africa.
There's no structure.
That's it.
Standardized way of filtering people who are getting this money. You know, I donate into some African community, but I don't know where the money is going to.
Yeah.
We still hear this cry. I'm happy you are in developed communities. We are talking like this, but we want people on the ground to let us know that, oh, all these voluntary organizations, they are not doing well, but they will pay a lot of people to give fake testimony. But we still haven't been able to pinpoint. Really, we can blame the government, but we need to be real first. Put our things in place, that this is the problem, this is what we can do, this is what we have. Then you now go to government, okay, support us. All government do is to create policies, you know, that will support us, policies that will channel all this money that our people are getting from international community. I'm talking about our NGO, developing world NGO. I'm not just talking about people like us who are working hard to make ends meet. We're talking about those who set up NGO to promote community. You know, I don't know. Tunde, do you want to say something?
Well, I think you've done a lot of justice to Mr. Emmanuel's question.